All right, so what we want to do next is we actually want to practice some of our single trait crosses. And there's a process which we go through for this. Now, I know that you guys have done this before, but quite honestly, this needs to be done as review, and you guys need to slow down a little bit because there's a couple of tricky steps in here that if you don't pick up, you will mess up how you do this cross, which will mess up how you answer a question. Okay? So these are the problem-solving steps. Number one, we have to identify the dominant and recessive alleles. Okay? Then you create a key of all possibilities that include both the genotype and the phenotype. Then you're going to identify the parents. So you have to look back at the problem for this one. Who is the mom and who is the dad, or who are the two parents, and what are their genotypes going to be? Then you complete the Punnett square, and then question 5, or step 5, is that you answer the question that was asked. So let's take a look here at the example. In peas, the gene for round seeds is dominant over the gene for wrinkled seed. All right, so that's step 1. Dominant is round, so we're going to represent that with a capital letter R. Recessive is wrinkled, and we're going to do a lowercase letter r. Then we have to do, according to step 2, create the key. So I could have big R, that is one possibility. We would identify that as homozygous dominant, that's the genotype. The phenotype, in terms of what we would see, would be round. Capital R, little r is heterozygous, and that would also be round. And then my other possibility is little r, which is homozygous recessive, which is wrinkled. Now again, you guys may not like these first two steps, but what I find is if you don't use these two steps, then you mess up the next one when you're picking out the parents. Now, this next sentence tells you about the parents. A homozygous plant which produces round seeds. So homozygous, round. So the first parent is this, big R, is mated with a homozygous plant which produces wrinkled seeds. So homozygous, wrinkled is right here. So little r. So you have to go back and you have to figure out, what are they telling me? Which parents do I have? So because I'm crossing big R, little r, now I do my Punnett square, and I do segregation here, and then recombination on the inside. Then for step 5, we have to answer the question, what percent of the offspring are round? Well, let's look at the results of the Punnett square. This one is round, this one is round, this one is round, and this one is round. So all 4 of my squares would have round. So the idea is that 100%, it's not saying I'm only having 4 offspring, but it's saying that all of the offspring, 100% of them, would be heterozygous and all of them would be round. So you have 5 additional questions here that you can answer going through this process. I would like for you to check your answers with my answer key up at the front of the room.